Everyone, New Year greetings. So I wish everyone has a good health, and as well as not just only good health, but good mind to have peace and happiness. This life and then other lives. As we said, the opening prayers, first, please cultivate your altruistic thought, the mind of enlightenment. So I will study these precious Dharma teachings to achieve the complete, perfect enlightenment. Enlightenment means where our mind, there's no delusions. Mind is totally revealed its own nature as it is. The reason because you see, as we have discussed so many times, I myself and everyone else, regardless who they are, we all want peace and happiness. Even in samsara, sometimes they say peace, sometimes they say happiness, but we are not satisfied with that. We try to secure that kind of peace and happiness as much as we can. It's because we're just inclined with the peace and happiness. Nobody wants suffering, because suffering is not a nature of ourselves. If our nature is suffering, we won't be hesitant to face the suffering. But we always resist. When we have always resistance when there's a suffering, because it shows our whole nature itself is not suffering. So this is our reason why we're studying, practicing the Dharma teachings, you see. This is nothing to do with the culture or belief system. No matter what you believe or don't believe anything, still you want peace and happiness. Still you want to free from suffering. So based on this reason, this very kind of logical. So people say, when there's a trust to the truth, there's a peace. You say no. The truth means the causality. When you accept the causality, good or bad, then say you avoid the cause of suffering. You follow the cause for the peace and happiness, so that there's a trust. If we ignore the cause, then so we work hard, we want peace and happiness, but there's no solution, you see. So that's because we don't have wisdom to penetrate that nature. So here what we're studying is what Buddha taught. So Buddha is a historical being who is fully enlightened and achieved the complete enlightenment, a state where it's a total, all peace, nothing but peace. And because the peace is clear, there's always the happiness there. So that's why we study the wisdom of the Buddha. And that's why we said, I take refuge in the Buddha, means not just the picture of the Buddha, not just the statue of the Buddha, but Buddha's wisdom, we take refuge. So that's why we need to study, practice the Dharma teachings. And all we're making effort is we just try to get rid of all the cause of suffering that we have. And we're so habituated on that. Because of that, so we need diligence. So today, we choose the chapter 7, diligence, from the Bodhicharyavatra, Bodhisattva's way of life. Now, I know many of you have studied Buddhist teaching for many years. You have been also practicing somehow, but we could not fully got what we want. So here, this year, from this new year, 2021, first we start with the diligence subject, and then we make effort towards the enlightenment. So this is, I think, very good start. As I mentioned, many of you have took refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Many of you have took the Bodhisattva's vow from many great teachers, but somehow still we're not fully convinced of our practice. Off and on, we just, just on the path, So today we start with the diligence. I'll read verse by verse. I think there are 76 verses. So first is here, I start this. So with the patience, I will strive with the diligence. For in such diligence, enlightenment is found. If no wind blows, then nothing stirs, and neither is there merit without diligence. So saying, with this patience means just immediate above the chapter 6, what was the teaching of the patience. So connection with that, all the chapter 1, first is, expressing the benefit of the bodhicitta, what bodhicitta is about, what bodhicitta will do, So all this cry for inspiration, to inspire what bodhicitta is about. When one is inspired, bodhicitta, seeing that all the Buddhas, they achieve Buddhahood by the practice of bodhicitta, then one is very interested. I want to cultivate bodhicitta. But bodhicitta, it doesn't happen easily. So we have to purify all the obscurations that we have, the karmic obscurations, the mental affliction obscurations, so forth. So the second chapter is purification. We acknowledge all the confusion we have, all the mistake we made physically, verbally, mentally, and purify all those as much as we can. And then after that, we rejoice the opportunity. Everyone who has peace and happiness, including Buddha, Bodhisattvas, rejoice of their achievements. And then inspire us to cultivate bodhicitta. So after that, cultivating bodhicitta. Once you cultivated bodhicitta, then we were not enlightened. We have to practice this repeatedly. So there's called vigilance. We have to we should aware all the time if I'm practicing the bodhicitta well or not. Conscious that is vigilance. Then after that follows mindfulness, the moral ethics, avoiding all the cause of suffering, and employ ourselves in the virtuous path. So this. Then after that, especially to handle the anger, resentment, this practice called patience. Of course, patience, not just only anger, all the different mental afflictions. In that mentioned, you see, everything is interdependent. Nothing is independent. So there's nothing to be resent to anything, to anybody. Everything's just a manifestation of the causes and conditions. Through that, then practice the patience. So reduce the intensity of the mental affliction, general, particularly our anger, hatred. So now here, with this, then I will say, with the patience, I will strive with the diligence, means perseverance. I will practice the perseverance. So why it is so important, the diligence or perseverance? He said, for the such diligence, enlightenment is found. See, the enlightenment, or in other words, our total peace and happiness can achieve through the perseverance, through the diligence. Now the definition is coming, but first, that is first very important. See, because all these are mental afflictions, obscurations, like say the 10, I'm sure many of all you maybe know, the 10 non-virtues. So we are so habituated on this, as I mentioned at the time. Our habits are so kind of tuned in those, manifest without effort, something like natural, because we are so habituated. So we need the diligence, perseverance to turn around, to change the habit from cause of suffering, habit from cause of suffering to the enlightenment for peace and happiness. Because you see in the world now, it's very clear. There are, people who knows this cause of suffering. It's creating the suffering, but they're going into that, risking their life because so habituated. For example, like say, smoke. Once you are introduced to smoke, somehow you are so habituated. Then later you realize it was not good. Not good for your health, not good for your mind, not good for your money. There's no benefit. But because we are so habituated, very difficult to stop. It takes really great pain to stop that. Every day, because you're used to that, you cannot live without it. So to stop that, we need a lot of skills, mindfulness, understanding, looking at the side effect of this bad habit. And what's the positive side if we change that habit? So that's what it's called the practice of diligence or the perseverance. So that's why enlightenment is found means our peace and happiness will achieve through this perseverance. Now, I said, there's given example. If no wind blows, then nothing steers, nothing moves. When there's no wind at all, then everything just doesn't move anything. So, like that, and neither is there merit without diligence. So, perseverance is like a wind. When there's a wind, it moves. Likewise, when there's a diligence, then the positive qualities are progress. Negative habits are purified. So that's why I say we need the diligence. So this import first say the importance of diligence, why we need to have that. Now here, what means diligence, perseverance? We should have a sense of understanding what that means. So the second verse, diligence means joy in virtuous ways. Its contrary have been defined as laziness and inclination for unwholesomeness, and then defeatism and self-contempt. So first, what means diligence means you are enjoying the virtue, the cause for peace and happiness. See, so it's called diligence means joy in virtuous ways, virtuous way of life, mind, body, speech, the body, all this. So that's first very important. It means like say, so one has to build such a courage to follow the virtuous path. It's called indomitable strength. Build an indomitable strength to follow the virtuous path. Virtuous path means it's nothing to the spiritual. This means virtuous path means following the path or creating the cause for peace and happiness. What do I desire for? Like, for example, when you like some delicious meal, so you have to make it. So first, this is a delicious meal, and then you prepare whatever it takes. And you need to collect all the ingredients, put together. And then after all this effort, putting together all the ingredients, you'll get a delicious meal. Likewise, in our Dharma study, practice is to, we just engage our life in the, in other words, wholesome deeds.
Well, let's go get the cookies up.
Excuse me. Clear? You are hearing?
I can hear you well.
Okay, that's good then. So what I'm saying is now, here we are talking about the definition of the diligence or perseverance. It's called joyous effort, making effort joyfully for the cause of the peace and happiness. Even in this life, you see, when we have, like say, maintained the 10 virtues, our life is very peaceful. People appreciate. People trust you. So that's the truth. So 10 virtues are the cause, direct cause for peace and happiness. Not only human beings, even animals. No. So that you see, this is all related to our mind, you see. The mind is so, as I mentioned, very powerful. Mind is so profound. The mind is very complex. No? It is kind of say ambiguous. You cannot see it directly, touch it, but you see the mind underlines all things that what we do. So when the mind follows of, like say, 10 virtues, like say bodhicitta, especially here talk about the bodhicitta. When we make effort in the bodhicitta based on love and compassion, then there's a total peace. Even before you become Buddha, also on the way to Buddhahood. So our study practice is right from the beginning. It's called peace and happiness. As I mentioned, this is nothing to do with religion. This is something to do with the causality. We're creating the cause, you see. We're not kind of say teaching something like belief system. You should believe that, you should believe this, But instead, we're just directly, scientifically, say, what's the cause for peace and happiness, and following that. So that's called the religions means joy in virtuous ways. Now there are different division of this perseverance. First is called the armor. The perseverance of armor means I will practice Dharma or bodhicitta until I become Buddha. So it's called the perseverance or the diligence of the armor. And then the second is called the actual engagement, the practice. And the third is called non-satisfaction. Means until you become Buddha, you are not satisfied. If you do 1 session, 2 sessions, a practice, that kind of session you made, practice you made, you are not enlightened. So we should not satisfied. Say, today I did 1 session. So it's called non-satisfaction, the perseverance of non-satisfaction until you become Buddha. So in the second, the actual practice of this perseverance, so there are 3, you see. First, we purify ourselves. All whatever this which contradicts the virtue, which contradicts the cause for peace and happiness, we purify all the mental afflictions that we have. This all everybody, But since we have the precious human life, so we have the odd opportunity to recognize the cause of suffering. So purifying this and maintaining the vows we have. The vow means it's a way how to maintain our practice. So it's a upasaka vow, monastic vows, whatever. Then the second is called practicing, accumulating all the qualities of Dharma teachings, like say 6 paramitas, practicing. And then third, benefiting sentient beings, sharing with others. Because as you want peace and happiness, everybody wants peace and happiness. There's no difference. So try to share with others so that Dharma can maintain, stay in the world. So everybody has the responsibility now to study the Dharma teachings, practicing ourselves, and sharing others. So these are the different division of this diligence, or sometimes called classification. Look at these. Then it is very important to see the weakness of the laziness. What their kind of laziness is there, which contradicts the diligence of perseverance. So there you see its contraries, which opposes, have been defined as laziness. Here, now they will describe furthermore. So there's that kind of a laziness. And then say an inclination for unwholesomeness, means we're attached to the samsaric activities, like 8 worldly concerns, those things. And the third one is defeatism and self-contempt, means looking down oneself. So, oh, I'm not good enough. I cannot do it. This is too hard. Like say, Bodhicitta is talking about all sentient beings, how I can do that. I cannot do that, So just looking down for oneself. So these are different laziness. We just reflect on this. We have to overcome these laziness that in the world that exist. Now look at in the samsara, everywhere you see, every country, every people, regardless who they are, regardless what they believe, regardless what their lifestyle is. So these are there, you see. Everyone is so busy in their life, creating cause of suffering. So it's called laziness of the attachment to the samsaric activities. See? And then laziness of the indulging oneself in the just comfort, sleep. Doesn't want to kind of make effort to cultivate bodhicitta practice. And then there are some who say, oh, I'm so poor, I'm so weak, I cannot do this. So these are the weakness of the samsara, that we cannot practice Dharma to free from samsara, to achieve enlightenment. So that you see. Now the number 3, verse 3, is now attachment to this life comfort. He said, a taste for idle pleasures in this life. We are so busy, our attachment to the pleasure of the samsara. Good sight, listening to music, smell, food, touch, and the sleep. Said, yes, and a craving for repose and sleep, you see. Just laying down, sleep, no meditation, no mindfulness of bodhicitta. We're so attached to this. And they give you some comfort. They give you some pleasure. All this you see. And no qualm about the sorrow of samsara. So no qualm means no feeling of sadness, samsara, because we're just attached to our pleasure in the samsara. We're attached to our sleep. Just relax. So laziness indeed is born from these, you see, by these causes and condition. Then the laziness is there, means we are not making effort. We don't like Dharma practice. So like say, sit a session, do meditation. It's so difficult. It's so hard. No, it's very easy to just this kind of pleasure of the comfort, sleep, watching this TV and the internet news. They give you some comfort. You see, it just comfort or whatever, but anyway, your time is consuming by that. So these are in the samsara, we have those. First, you look at this. Sometimes say, no, I don't have time to sit because I have to do this. So I like to listen to my music. I like to do walk. I like to do this, and I need some sleep, like these things. So when these things happens, then here the next verse 4, sneer by the temper of defiled emotions, unmeshed and taking in the toil of birth. Again, you have strayed into the mill of death. What is it? Have you still not understood? So these are first very important, Deep down, we want peace and happiness, you see. That's why we like to sleep. That's why we like some comfort. Like to listen to the music, like to have some fresh kind of meal, like these things. I'm not saying we shouldn't have food, So due to this, not only this life, from many lifetimes, we have been born in the samsara. So it says, sneer by the trapper of defiled emotions, means we are trapped in our mental affliction. Our mind is surrounded by the mental affliction. See. So, amneshed and taking into the toil of birth. So because that we are through these mental afflictions, we create negative karma. And the karma and mental afflictions, then that creates we to reborn. Our rebirth is not without cause, not without condition. It's based on causes and condition. The causes of conditions of our rebirth in the samsara is because of the mental afflictions and the karma. See? And so since we are in that, under such kind of that condition, again, you have strayed into the mouth of business. So still, then, we will be under the control of the Lord of Death. Lord of Death means just it's a metaphor. Means we will go according to our karma, whether it's positive or negative karma. See? So I say, still have you not understood this? No, those who don't have Dharma in their life, yes, they don't know. They have no idea about these things. But those who we have the Dharma, study, practicing Dharma teachings, the wisdom of the Buddha, so say, still have you not understood this? What is it? Have you still not understood this? We're under the control of the Lord of Death. Means we are still under the control of our mental afflictions and karma, and the suffering is bound to come. So please make understand this. So first, these are very important. Sometimes people don't like to hear these things. No, I don't want to hear. These are just so negative, But it's very important to dig these information, dig these reality nature, the causality nature of the samsara. So then our Dharma study, our Dharma practice can be very meaningful and effective, you see. So verse 5 said, don't you see how one by one death has come for all your kind, and yet you slumber on so soundly like a buffalo besides its butchers. So now it's like a little threatening. So please don't be afraid, So don't you see how one by one death has come to all your kindness? Look at in this our life. First of all, this reflection of the impermanence. Everything is impermanent, changing moment to moment. Then because of this, death is reality. Everybody knows that. Like in the West, you see, we call retirement. How much we invest to have a good retirement. How much money we collect, make that. No matter how good retirement is made, still we have to go through. At the end, we have to die. We have to go, we have to leave this life behind. We have to go for next. So look at this, you see. So he's saying, one by one, just in your family, look at your friends. How many of your friends have died? Your friends, your family members died. Your relatives died. Look at that. Especially those who are old, now like me, who are 60s, 70s, 80s. Then we know a lot of our friends, relatives died. Like I know when I came to this country, US, I came in the early 80s, where many center members, now many of them died, you see. You see, not only history. So look at those that remember. So then, see, death has come for all your kind. And yet you slumber on so soundly, but without regarding these things, still I attach to my sleep. Sleep, here's just example. I attach to my pleasure life, easy life, my comfort life, so comfortable life. So look at this, without preparing for yourself. at the time of death, after death, then in the samsara. So see, this example is given like a buffalo besides its butcher. Buffalo is so stupid. So the butcher is next to the buffalo, which can be killed within a few minutes. But buffalo had no idea the butcher will kill. So like that, our life is so impermanent. Just as a wake up from this. So now please, please understand, so this is the threatening, I don't like this idea, I want to have, it's a peaceful mind, But through this is just awareness, gives you some kind of, say, wisdom, how to aware, Because we have such profound Dharma teachings. We have such a Buddha's wisdom, which can purify all the cause of suffering. But we are not taking advantage of this. We're just being lazy in the samsara. Just attached to the temporary peace and happiness. So that does not solve the problem. Look at there some, now this is very clear. This year, or last year we should say, this pandemic, everywhere, all over the world, people are panicked. They're depressed. Some are suicidal because it becomes so obvious, so clear. What should I do? So that kind of awareness, say that we should have through Dharma study, practice. This is how life is about. Meditate. Exercise your bodhicitta. See, everything is illusory nature. This is very important. Everything is just manifestation of the cause and the condition. So all causality. So some causes are such a obvious, clear, precise, Some are hidden. Like in the West, our life is more hidden. We try to hide all the sufferings underneath and make appearance as such a beautiful, enjoyable pleasure. But no, we cannot hide all. It becomes so obvious after some time. So here's showing, just reveal, for the Dharma practitioner. When you could reveal this, and those who are interested in Dharma practice will make real great effort. Will take the full advantage, the precious human life. As other day, we discussed about the 4 Dharmas of Kampupa, Dharma, or mind follows the Dharma. Dharma follows the path. And the confusion dispels from the path. And then you see the confusion, the mental affliction transform as a premortal wisdom. So the 4th took the confusion, the mental afflictions to transform into the premortal wisdom. We need this kind of great effort. It's a great capacity of the person, or a person who is a great, who has the great capacity to achieve enlightenment. To that, we need this kind of method. Then this precious human life we have, we take the full advantage. Dharma study, practice. See? So this very good example, like the buffalo, besides its butcher, because the death is next to us. Who knows? When it will happen? We have no confidence, but we plan to live for 100 years. This which will come here, So all the paths of flight are blocked. The Lord of Death now has you in his sight. How can you take such pleasure in your food? And how can you delight to rest and sleep? See, now these are you should not be lazy, basically saying. We have to study, practice the Dharma. All the path of the flight are blocked. Means we cannot escape from the death. Death will come sooner or later. So you see, the death is in our sight. You see, the Lord of Death now has come in his sight. We are under his sight. So under such conditions, how can you take such pleasure in your food? Means all the luxurious life. We have such a luxurious life, Like say now, I have this nice house, small house, and I have good breakfast, lunch, and I enjoy so much. And I don't think so much about the death. I just enjoy this luxurious life. So it's reminding to myself, so how you can attach to this, your life. You must better study, practice Dharma. Means, as mentioned, you purify all our mental afflictions, the attachment, the aversion, the ignorance, the pride, the jealousy, the greed, all this need to be purified. As long as when these mental afflictions within me, as the appearance looks very beautiful, enjoyable, but inside the mind, there's no peace, there's no happiness. So it's not that food, clothes doesn't give me joy and happiness, but my mental affliction, there takes away all my peace and happiness. So that I need to purify. And as I mentioned repeatedly, Dharma is the only one which can give us to purify these mental afflictions. Without the Dharma, nothing can help us. There's no medicine in the world that can help us to uproot our mental afflictions. So only Dharma is the one that will help us how to uproot our mental afflictions. So these, they said, these are the laziness that within us, and our whole life is occupied within this laziness. And the suffering is next to us, basically, is what is they saying, So that will swoop on you so swiftly gather merit till that moment come. So verse 7. For even if you then throw off your indolence, what will you do when there's no more time? So first two line saying, that will swoop on you so swiftly. So that can come in any time, said. So understand that it may come today, tomorrow, next week, next month, any time can come. So as long as when we have the time, so gather merit till that moment come. Means until that come, I must practice Dharma. So merit here, gather all the good qualities, merit, wisdom, and say through this, a lot of this, as I mentioned, describing about impermanence, reflect impermanence. As we have discussed this before, all that who are born will die one day. All that what we have gathered will finish one day. All that is constructed, built, will fall down one day or destroyed one day. All the people or friends, gather together will separate one day. So look at this. So that time, see how much there's sufferings there. We don't want that suffering, that we can now change or turn around through the study, practice Dharma. And as long as we have time, kind of some breath in our mouth, we study, practice the Dharma. And that's wise choice. Look at read our history. We have a long history of the Buddha's teaching. Over 2,000, about 600 years, so many great teachers came, and how much they spent their life, and how much joy, happiness they achieve, those great practitioners. Look at these, read these life stories, and then say, we must ourselves engage in this, follow the path. So I say, gather merit till that moment comes, means until before I die. Before that comes, basically. It's called before that comes, we must use all this, our resource to Dharma practice. Next two lines say, for even if you then throw off your indolence, means when you are dying, then no matter what you do, said, what will you do when there's no more time? Then there's no time. It's too late. Then you are calling this Lama, this great teacher, that great teacher can help us, that great who can do that, do this. So that time is too late. If you try to do something, it's too late. So before that, we have to prepare all that what we can, because we have the precious human life. So don't waste this precious human life, which can achieve the enlightenment. So don't waste for small thing. This such a precious opportunity. that we cannot buy from outside. It's within us. So don't waste this. No, so study, practice the Dharma. Now, usually I say this, in the world, there are so many stores, shopping malls, centers, so much. You just look around. If there any store can sell you happiness, peace, say, I want a real peace. Can I buy a peace? Can I buy happiness? No. No, there's no, any store can sell you that. But what they will tell you is, if you buy this, you will be happy. This is such a kind of, say, new model car, electric running car. If you buy this, then you will be so happy. You will save money, But that is no guarantee. See, as soon as you buy that car, it starts with your suffering, instead of real peace and happiness. So you see, Dharma, if we practice Dharma accordingly, the peace and happiness guarantee within us, because we are Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is within us. And more we reveal Buddha nature, not totally, even just beginning, it starts with a peace and happiness. You look, see, of course we go to the school, we go to the university. The teacher teaches, read books, this, that, science, technology, all this. But that wisdom has to come within. All others are just tools, a condition. But we have to have within us. See, that's our Buddha nature. So it depends whether we use Buddha nature in the wrong direction or in the right direction. If we have a full wisdom, it's called unafflicted wisdom, then we will open the door for real peace and happiness. But when the Buddha nature is under the delusions, so in that, so when the mind is so full of afflictions, then so there's no peace and happiness. You see, that's the difference. It's your mind. So here Buddha's teachings teaches you how to reveal your Buddha nature, not to cover up your Buddha nature, but to open your Buddha nature. You see, so this is just giving such a great way how to reflect our life, to study, practice Dharma. It's not just something spiritual thing to do, but it is a way how to free from the suffering. So this is, it is the what's called. It is a kind of based on the reason, based on the wisdom. It's education. You educate your mind in the right direction, how to avoid the cause of suffering. We educate how to develop the cause for peace and happiness. So it's a special wisdom. It's based on education, based on wisdom, that based on the reason. You see, this is all related. connected. That's what's called interdependent. So all are just a manifestation based on causes and condition. All are just reflection. So interdependent. So interdependent means the nature is emptiness. So that very emptiness manifests as interdependent. So there's no kind of say distinction, interdependent and emptiness. You see, sometimes we think, oh, interdependent nature is emptiness. So emptiness is something nothing exists. No, that's not the full understanding. You understand the form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form, which is very popular. Many Mahayana practitioners, they chant that Heart Sutra. So form is emptiness. It's that form what we have now. Our body, you see, the nature is emptiness. Because if you divide, so look at this skin, then the flesh, and then all the ligaments and the bones, marrow. If you investigate each of these dust particles, at the end, you cannot find one substantial, real nature. So this through your investigation, through your analysis, the yogi practitioner, you realize directly that nature. So that, I say now, that nature of emptiness, you see, is the form. That's why I say form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form. See? So there's no distinction between form and emptiness. But for our ordinary person, like me, who's not realized emptiness, still say, I see the form, but I don't see the emptiness. Because my mind is not that subtle. I don't have such a good meditative state of the mind. When your mind is fully equipped in the meditative state, which kind of endowed with the realization of the emptiness, then you can see the inseparable nature of the appearance of the form and its nature, emptiness, without separation. So this, when you see this, then it's not a Buddhist belief, you see. It's the reality nature of the phenomena itself. And then say, there, our ignorance is taken care of. There's no ignorance which covers that to see that reality nature. When the ignorance is this, when you find as a non-existence, then there's no attachment. There's no aversion. So see this, then the three portions. You see the non-existent. So that's what why we need to get out of our laziness. So the only precious human life has that opportunity. Let's say, look at the animals, your dog, your cat, no matter how smart they are, if you tell them, this is emptiness, this is wisdom, They have no idea what you're talking about. No. So that's why it's a precious human life. So we're talking about that what we have. So we practice Dharma, as earlier mentioned, joyfully, with enthusiastic, with indomitable strength. Follow the path. See, that's what I'm here now. So before that come, so these practices are so important, because at the time of death, when your breath is stopping, that time is too late. No, even you are maybe inspired. Oh, I want to practice Dharma. It's too late. No? So say no. So next verse, verse 8. This I have not done, and this I'm only starting, and this I'm only halfway through. Then is the sudden coming of the Lord of death, and of the door, alas, I'm finished. Now you're saying, in the world we have a lot of plans. No, we plan for this year. Now this is beginning of this year. So this whole year I will do this. We have so much plan. Next year, like this. No. So first is last year I have planned this that I have not done, not finished. No. And this much I have finished. You know what I'm saying? So this I have not done, and this I'm only starting. You see, I've not done my plan, and now I'm just starting my plan, how to do. And this, what I've started, and this I'm only halfway through. So now I've just finished part of that, not finished completely. No? So during this, all those planning, done, not done, want to do, all this is so important. In my life, I want to finish this, all this, Within that, suddenly said, then is the sudden coming Lord of death. So then means now our death is coming. So now what should I do? And all the thought, alas, I'm finished, means all this planning, what I was thinking to do, not finish, want to do. Before doing all these things, I myself, this life is going to finish. Now, what should I do? So these are the called reflecting on the impermanence. See, this is a very good, there's a song by Venerable, you see, when, everybody knows Venerable. After he received complete teachings from Marpa, and at that time, he was quite realized on the way to Buddhahood. So he requested his permission from Marpa. So I want to visit my homeland. So Marpa has given permission. Say, yes, you go to your homeland. Just stay 1 week, then go to retreat. So Milarepa just looking forward to meet his mother, his sister. So when he arrived at his homeland, his mother died. His sister was wandering. his house was haunted, broken. So he felt so sad and reminded him such a great impermanence. This is what is called impermanence. Because his father was a very successful businessman, built such a beautiful house, in that small village. So then he was thinking, you see, when my father was there, I'm not there. Even the father and son got together. There's not so much thing to do. When mother was alive, I was not here. When her son came here, the mother died. Even the son and mother get together, there's not so much essence. When the sister was here, her brother is not here. When brother came, sister was wandering. Even sister and mother get together, there's not so much thing to do. When the house was here, the owner is not here. When the owner came, the house is haunted and broken. Even the house and the owner come together, there's not so much essence. I must go to retreat. I must go to the cave, practice Dharma. So that gave him such a great, powerful message. Gave him just full, a joy to practice Dharma. He realized without the Dharma, there's no essence in the world. You see, you can fight in the many ways in the business, in the political systems. At the end, there's nothing you can achieve, you see. If you win, nothing to achieve. If you lose, nothing to lose. But if you Dharma practice, if we lose the Dharma practice, we will wander into samsara, life after life. If we win, we are free from the samsara, achieve enlightenment, you see. That's what Dharma practice is about. So you see here, this message is so precious. So don't take this as a negative, but through this kind of direct message of this nature of the samsara, we should get such kind of wisdom. So they say. Now next is saying here, verse 9, you will look upon the faces of your hopeless friends, their tear-stained cheeks, their red and swollen eyes, for such would be the depth of their distress. And then you will see the hurl of the Lord, deadly Lord. So saying now, at the time of death, when you're dying, this is supposed to be like, say, not some accident. You are dying slowly, slowly. No medicine can help. No doctor can help. And you see, your friends, relatives are surrounded. They know now you are dying. So you see, hopeless friends. And then you're such a beloved, your loved friends, family members, tears coming in their eyes. They are just crying. See? Red, their red and swollen eyes. For such will be the depth of their distress. So now they are so their heart is broken, but cannot do anything. See? And then you will see the hurl of the deadly Lord. And you can also see that how your mind is pulling by this, all the directions, and you have no power. No matter how much powerful doctor is there, no matter how much powerful medicine is there, it doesn't help. So that time, if you have Dharma, bodhicitta, you see, if you realize the bodhicitta, if you realize the emptiness, then you go through peace, joy. It's just a transition from this life to the better life for enlightenment. So that's the Dharma. So Dharma cannot be replaced by any means. So I repeatedly say these things. You see, Buddha taught these Dharma teachings 2,000 over 600 years. Still, it's so fresh. Don't to relate to the cultural system, but the truth of the teaching, the wisdom, the compassion of the Buddha's teaching. Buddha totally realized whole system of the samsara and nirvana directly and perfectly, and through that taught these Dharma teachings. So Dharma practitioners, we need such kind of courage, that nothing can defeat that kind of courage, because you are fully convinced under such kind of conditions, the samsara, when people die like this, then you see your heart is broken, but you cannot do so much. But when you have the Dharma practice, realization, then you die joyfully, you die peacefully, at least without regret. You see, so this is the wisdom of the Dharma. And this is the profit of the Dharma practice. How much profit of Dharma practice if we have done, if you use. See? Now this all how to this all is don't attach so much to this life. So utilize this life, precious human life, in the Dharma practice. You will achieve real enjoyment, happiness in the Dharma practice. So now here, verse 10, the memory of former sin will torture you. The screams and din of hell break on your ears. With very terror, you will fool yourself. What will you do in such delirium? See. So now here's what is just, as I mentioned, it's not threatening you. Sometimes you feel this, is this threatening me? I don't like this, But we should have such wisdom how to see these things. Because as I mentioned, we have such profound Dharma teachings, has such great wisdom is there. But it's not enough just study, understand it, but it's a practice necessary. So they say at the time of death, you remember your life, what you did, more positive or more negative. If you have done more negative, then there brings such a great sadness, kind of regret. You regretted this and that. So memory of former sins will torture you. This means we regret, or I should have done that, or I should have done better, that I could have done this, like so forth, Then scream and din of hell break on your ears. Then you see here, hell not necessarily like some special place to go, but the suffering that will torture us in next life. And because you read these teachings, there comes in your ears or in your memory, due to these negative actions that I have done, now suffering will come. I should have done it better. So then you see, and very true you will fall yourself. So I made mistake myself. Nobody can terrorize me, but I did myself. I terrorize all my virtue, bodhicitta, practice. So I must keep my bodhicitta. No mental afflictions, the mental afflictions, the clashes, they are the ruthless terrorists, you see. We should understand that. Our mental afflictions, they don't hesitate to destroy all our cause of peace and happiness. So we should acknowledge this. Today, I must make effort to get rid of these terrorists by the practice of bodhicitta and emptiness. See. So what you will do in such, when such conditions, when such difficult time comes, what should I do? Nobody can help. Because as you know, Buddha taught the teachings. Buddha said, I teach you, or I taught you all the teachings. I taught you how to achieve the liberation, how to become Buddha. Now the liberation is in your palm, in your hand. You are the responsible to study, practice Dharma teachings. See. So to take the full advantage of these precious Dharma teachings, we need these reminding ourselves. Without this kind of strong reminding, our mind is so stubborn, you see. Look at our stubbornness, these mental afflictions. Mental afflictions are so stubborn. Even you tell yourself, the afflictions say, wait a minute, slow down, so can I stay with you for some time? No. Then that time you have to see, look at your bodhicitta, look at your, realization of the emptiness. So there you have to tell, you have no place here to stay. You have to go. So that you see, that's as I mentioned, we're in the battleground with these mental afflictions. This destroys our individual's peace and happiness now and the future. It destroys others' peace and happiness. So that's how Dharma practice is about. So to Dharma practice is such crucial. No, if you don't practice Dharma, no matter how much you establish the view, no. So this is what Buddhists believe. This is how things happen, constitutes. You just study, you debate, you know, all the way you debate, you study. But if you don't practice, it doesn't do any good. Sometimes then it makes your ego stronger. So, oh, now I have such great wisdom. I can reason these things, you know. And if we don't abolish, purify these mental afflictions, the ego, it can become stronger, more powerful. So practice is such precious. That means avoid, purify the 8 worldly concerns. No. So I have enough. I'm so fortunate. No. I rejoice what I have. Now I must practice Dharma. So this kind of, you know, related thoughts, meditations are so crucial. See. Then next he said, this again, to get out of the laziness. Now it's here, verse, you want break?
Folded it here. Oh no, I folded it.
You need short break?
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. Oh, baza sato samaya manopalaya baza sato tenoba dida dedo membawa sudo kayo membawa subu kayo mem anorado membawa sarwasi de me parayasa sarwa karma suzame chetana shreya guru hung ha ho baga sarvata dankata bedra mamemon zambar zembawa ma samaya sato